Hey Simlies, it's Deligracy here, and today I'm doing a fantasy build. I'm actually doing a build that's inspired by a Kaz I did a little while ago that some of you guys will remember, where I made the 4 element sisters. So each sister represented elements, and I kind of was inspired to make them look like that element. So I had wind, water, earth, and fire, or desert, and that was really fun. So I decided to make kind of like a mini palace for them as well, like each of them. And I went into Granite Falls in The Sims 4, which came with The Sims 4 Outdoor Retreat game pack because I wanted it to be a really pretty environment to take the screenshots in. So that's why I did that. Of course, you can move this to another world. And just here, I'm beginning to do the desert themed area. And over here, I was doing like the water themed area. And then I'll go on to create a whole little forest as well in one of the other quarters. And then I kind of realized that there wasn't really going to be enough rooms for all 4. So instead, we're just going to go with an earth and a water mini castle with thrones. And I don't know, it's just fun. It's a little bit crazy. One of you guys a while ago tweeted me and said, can you do like a fantasy build for a change? And I don't know, I really felt like it today. So I just went ahead and did it. I don't know what you guys are going to think of this. Hopefully you enjoy it for something a bit fresh. But I certainly had a lot of fun with it. And I made use of a lot of different sizing options, like upscaling objects and layering them. And it was just a good time. It was just a good time. So this is, I guess, earth and desert. That's what this represents. And then, like I said, the other one's going to be water. So earth and water. And basically the earth one was kind of inspired by caves. There's lots of browns and reds and rich oranges. And once we do the interior, it's got like a throne set up, and then it's got everything your Sims would actually need inside. So you could definitely download this off the gallery. It's on the gallery right now. It has a terrible thumb shot, actually, which is a bit of a shame, but oh well. But it's up there. I think I called it the Thrones of Elements, or the Elements of Thrones, because I was kind of doing a play off of the Game of Thrones. Not that I watch that TV show. Sorry to disappoint you guys who love it, because I seem to be the 1% of people who don't watch that show. But I don't know. I just thought because I made thrones for them. I thought that was kind of cool. And that was before I realized that, I don't know. I thought of that name before I realized that I wasn't going to fit all 4 in. But that doesn't mean that I can't do like a tree-themed one and then like a wind or air-themed one as well. So we can do that in another build if you guys want it. So let me know in the comments down below. But here we are making this look almost like a cave. We've got this kind of crown sculpture on top that's to represent a mini kingdom almost. And of course we are a little bit challenged by the lack of space of the size of this lot, but I chose this lot because it is in a pretty place in Granite Falls. And if I was going to put it in Oasis Springs, or if I was going to put it into Willow Creek or somewhere, it just looks like it's in the middle of suburbia. So I didn't really want to do that. We make use of a lot of columns, a lot of ruins as well from The Sims 4 Get Together, which I thought was kind of snazzy. And I love that the columns actually sized up to go to the top of the freezers and also underneath them, which I didn't realize the game actually did that. So that was kind of a cool discovery. I love these pots as well, that pot at the front there that I've just shifted, but I felt like it looked a little bit weird at the front of the house. It wasn't like big enough to really make that impact that I think the lion fountain makes. And the lion fountain's from the romantic stuff pack, which I do recommend. Or the romantic garden stuff pack. Yeah, is that what I just said? I think so. I got up for the gym at 5:30 a.m. this morning, and it is now 8:30 at night, so I'm a little bit all over the joint, a little bit pooped. So if my commentary in this video is a little bit off, that's why. I also loved layering these ripped curtains over the more royal ones that are behind them, and I thought this looks kind of cool because it was like the wind damage the outer ones, but the inside ones remain really royal. And I also make the inside of this look very, well, at least I was aiming to make it look kind of magical. So we have all of these really odd lanterns that are kind of clustered from the rooftop, and they're all gold, and we're going to have gold bars as well in there next to the throne. And yeah, it was just cool. It was just cool and fun. Cool and fun. And yeah, this is going to look very different to the water one. They are a complete contrast, and that's pretty cool. We're also going to be shifting the rocks from the outside a little bit so they don't cut through the walls. At first I was like, oh, I'll just kind of make the walls irregular. But then I thought, no, that just looks lazy. It just looks bad. So we're shifting everything out a little bit, and we're going to have the throne as soon as you walk in. We're also going to have a bedroom, and it's kind of like an open floor plan except for the bathroom. So there's all of the lanterns kind of hanging from the roof. Thought that was pretty cool, and I was like, okay, I need a throne. What am I going to use that looks like a throne? And I was like, this chair just does not it just does not do the job. So we get rid of that in a second, and we end up kind of creating one from stone. Anyway, I think it works. I think it works quite nicely. But I did want this to look wealthy and warm and rich, and a little bit like wealth had been kind of hoarded into this small space that might sit in the middle of the desert. And yeah, again, I wanted it to be magical. So we actually have an area that's going to have some bookshelves, and then I have floating books in that area to symbolize a bit of magic, maybe. So there's floating books, which some of you guys might be like, well, that's a little bit strange. But I don't know, I thought it was cool. You know, you gotta play around with these things. Just gotta have a little bit of fun now and then, and let the creative juices flow. I also wanted to let you guys know that I am going to be taking a week off YouTube. I know probably some of you guys who follow me more closely than others on Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and whatnot know that I just went to Queensland, which was really, really nice. And while I was away there, that was to spend time with friends. And I'm actually needing some time off for a week to, you know, do my tax, figure out, like, sort out a few things to do with insurance and stuff, and all that boring stuff that happens when you become an adult that you have to take care of. Because in all honesty, I just have not had a chance to just sit down for a few days and just figure all of that stuff out and make sure I'm on track. So if there's no videos for a week coming up, it is because I'm just having an organize my life week, and I do apologize about that, but I just really want to get out of the way, and because it's end of financial year, it is the time to do it. So that's what I'll be doing, and that'll be boring, but hey, I'll just get it done. But I didn't want you guys to worry, so I thought I'd just give you the heads up in the next few videos so you're aware of that. And yeah, if I'm quiet, that's why. And do feel free to let others know if they comment, where's Deligracy? Where has she been? It's actually really helpful when you guys just let someone else know, because we're all a bit of a family. So it's nice. It's nice to communicate a bit, and I love seeing that. Anyways, so we've got kind of the stone throne with the lions on either side there, just at the bottom, which you can kind of see. We've got a big world map on the wall, which I thought fitted in perfectly, because it's like, you've got to find your way around the deserts. It shows the map of all the deserts, or all of the 4 elements of the world, the elemental kingdoms. Ooh, that's cool. Elemental? Is that a word? I have no idea. I always am making up words in these speed builds. We've got a lot of cashola right there, some fat stacks, and some golden bars, which is pretty cool. And over here, we're just putting in some things into the bathroom, making it look all pretty. Lots of candles around the bath as well. I definitely wanted to include some old school stuff, so that's why we're using lanterns, candles, older looking rugs, and some vintage looking mirrors, arguably. But I think it works. And that golden curtain, even though it was fun, it just looked a little bit too new for my liking. So we got rid of that. Again, there's a curtain that's looking pretty torn and ruined, but I think that's perfect for this build. And then we've just got a bed over here that's going to be made a little bit more private by placing a screen near the front door. And I love that sized up curtain because it kind of drapes right to the floor, which is different to how it's usually placed. And I feel like if you undid it, you could make it go over the entire bed. So it's like this little cocoon where it could sleep. And I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So just popping in the screen there. We've got a few industrial wall decor items going up as well from The Sims 4 Get to Work, and we also have some odd bookshelves, deliberately odd, and we're going to be placing in those levitating books in a second, so that's a little bit of fun. Of course, I do love to put picture frames on top of my bookshelves just to make it look a little bit more lived in and realistic, and yeah, we're about to lift up the books now, so I don't know, I just thought this was cool. Some of you guys will find it weird, but it's just a bit of fun. Just adding a little bit of magic amongst all of those lights hanging down. Hopefully a few of you guys appreciate what I'm going for here. I know I'm a little bit wacky though in how I think sometimes. Creativity isn't always understood by all. All right, I'm also realizing this is a little bit sped up for a few of you guys. A few of you guys will find this a bit too quick, but this was going to end up being pretty long because I spent a long time on it. So hopefully it's still watchable for you guys. This is a small dining area with a bit of a teapot there. I'm using the old school fridge and old school stove just to make it, just to make it look all nice and pretty. And I love that the range hood is gold. Love that because it just goes with the wealth of it. It's weird because a lot of it's just like wooden and basic, but then there's all these gold aspects and it's just like, whoa, hey, big spender. And yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I'm pretty happy with it. So it's kind of warm colors, browns, oranges, golds, and that royal red carpet, as well as a little easel there in case you want to get a little bit artistic and have a little bit of fun with that. And I also felt like we needed a couple of extra things there. And that treasure chest thing, which is pretty cool. Oh, and I also love this mirror wall. I think that looks quite eclectic and a little bit odd, which I love. So that's pretty much the desert one. So let's move on to the water elements. And really, this one was all about being, how do I explain this? I guess I just wanted it to be all light, the complete opposite to the cave feeling, where the cave is kind of cozy and warm. I wanted this to be more open, more light, water, glass, and I don't know. I wanted it to look like the sea. And I thought these pebbles stacked upon one another also gave a bit of a shell illusion. I don't know. It reminded me of a shell. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And I know it looks a little bit odd right now, but as we build it up, I think it works out quite nicely. At this point in time, I was on Skype talking to a friend, so I did take my time with this, and you know what? It was really nice to just build and chat to a friend. I enjoyed that a lot, and I think it turns out quite well. I was gonna use these exterior flower pots and whatnot, and then I was like, nah, they'll be better suited to if I do a forest one. So I might save that for later. Lots of water though, and we're going to go crazy with fountains. This is absolutely epic. When you're in live mode, it's like, shh. It's awesome. And we're also going to have a bit of a walkway here where we're going to extend that roofing out and make it look kind of cool. Also just trying to figure out a way to make the water look as blue as possible. And I find I prefer that when the tiles are dark and the flooring is dark. I just think that looks nice when it's that royal blue. So that's what we do. It was also kind of hard to blend the landscaping because going from desert to lush water or to a water environment in such a short distance was like, terrain paint. So we do a bit of painting at the ends. And also building on a diagonal is an absolute pain in the bot on The Sims 4 because, you know, putting down all of these pieces because you can't just place floor tiles. On the next level, you have to place this flooring. It's just is a little bit annoying, but we get it all down there in the end. And making use of those freezers, they look very pretty. There's a bit of a Grecian feel on here as well. We use a lot of things from the Romantic Garden Stuff Pack, so that's quite nice. And yeah, we're going to get rid of those stones in the water. I think they just look weird, so we'll fix that up. Just evening up the water a little bit. I wanted it to still not be fully equal on either side. You can absolutely change that if you download it, if you prefer things to be symmetrical, but I wanted it to look slightly more natural, slightly, a little bit less man-made and a little bit more magical, mysterious. And that archway with the greenery coming down, we do actually get rid of that because I just felt like that looked too green for our aqua theme. Oh, that rhymed. Too green for our aqua theme. I love rhyming words. I wish my name rhymed. Like Deli Manelli. Deli Manelli. Because it's like you never forget the name. Anyone who has a rhyming name should be a celebrity because that name will stick. It will always stick. And yeah, just pulling out some old columns again, pulling out any decorative items, which I think would work. At one stage, I was thinking of using these wall items, but we actually get rid of those in a second. There was a lot of trial and errors trying to figure out what I actually wanted to do here and the look and feel. I also had the idea of doing Grecian modern contemporary, and there is a slight aspect of fusing the two, but at the same time, I downplayed it a lot compared to what I was originally going to do, just because it didn't look quite right. I didn't go with the desert build. There are so many fountains in this. Oh my god. Oh, what? I think I'm saying oh my gosh and oh my god at the same time, and I was like, oh my gosh. Oh dear. And oh, I also liked those pebbled windows at the back because they reminded me of pebbles that you find in a lake or a pond. And I don't know. It just works. Work from home. Work. I love that song, even though what I just said then sounded nothing like it. I do like that song. I was trying not to eat sugar today. I keep trying to go off sugar because I know how bad sugar is for you and that everyone's addicted to it. And I was like, I'll go off sugar. But oh my gosh, I'm addicted to it. Today, I just was like, oh my gosh, I really need some sugar. So I went and bought an orange juice. And it was the best orange juice I've ever had. Just because I wanted sugar so badly. But it's crazy. Have any of you guys ever tried to give up sugar? Because it is hard. It is hard work. I'm telling you now. Oh, and just here we're lifting up using the 9 key some hedges. I use this trick a lot around pillars because I just think that bush lends itself perfectly to being made into like a climbing bit of greenery. And now it's starting to take a little bit more shape as we've got some greenery going in. We're layering the fountains so they're even bigger and better and more dramatic and royal looking, because if there's like a water princess living here or a water element princess or someone magical and important, they're gonna want a pretty big, impressive facade. You know what I'm saying? You want people to walk up to your facade and just think, damn, girl. That's right. That's what I want people to think when they walk up to my future home. No, not really. I want my facade to be warm and inviting and say, welcome to Deli's house. Yeah, that'd be nice. It'd be real nice. I love dreaming. Dreaming is my happy place. That's why I like Sims, I think, because it's so creative and you can just create whatever's in your imagination almost. Alrighty, so we've definitely made use of a lot of sizing up of things. the roofing here, where we've used those roof decorations, the kind of, I don't even know what you call them. Roof decorations, swirly, not swirly things, but slightly organically arched things, roof liners. Those things I've sized up and sized down. As I was placing them, they reminded me of a fish skeleton, like the vertebrae, or just a fish skeleton in general. So I kind of had fun putting those on there as well, just in the back of my head, it being slightly inspired by that. And we're going to use these beautiful Grecian sculptures and have these guys kind of sitting around on that stacked sculpture of pebbles. So just moving them around, and we're going to have 4 of them in a second, just because they look really cool. And I feel like a female would live here, so she's got all these manly protectors above the house, and that's kind of cool. We're also going to put some greenery in the background, because where there's water, there is life. So I thought greenery was quite good for this build. And here we are, struggling to terrain paint everything around here. I was like, how do I blend this? In the end, I thought I'd use some floor tiling to put in a bit of a mosaic pattern and texture. I felt we needed a little bit more blue on the exterior, and just to make it really feel like it was different from the desert element home from across the lot. And I do love those tiles, and I never really use them that often, so that was really nice to give them a go. And then we're just terrain painting. I was like, we could use sand, and I'm thinking sand's like the desert. I'm thinking, we could use the grey pebble things. I'm like, now it just looks like a road. So in the end, we have a billion different colours of terrain paint. And once we actually put in the other greenery and landscaping, it kind of works, and I kind of enjoyed it. So here we go. I've just skipped ahead a little bit because it took me a while to put all those fountains in and rocks around the side. But of course in the screenshots you'll see it more properly. It's looking pretty lush though, pretty magnifique. And I haven't done the interior just yet, so don't you guys worry. You haven't missed out on the interior. Those trees are kind of cute too. The Christmas trees. They came in a free update, so I think everyone should have them in their base game. So very pretty, and this was annoying because it wasn't quite even, these mosaic tiles. So I got rid of them, and I was having a little bit of difficulty picking which lighting to use because the chandeliers were so modern looking, and I'm thinking, are they too modern for this Grecian stone build with marble floors, or should I use them? And then there was these big glass windows at the front. And I was like, where do I draw the line between traditional and ultra modern? In the end, I think I balanced it off okay. But we definitely needed to section off the floor plan a little bit. Just here, where that dividing wall is, there is going to be a kitchen, just where we're focusing now. So we're putting in some kitchen counters just here. It's just a little corner. I wanted this to be a different floor plan to the desert house or the desert kingdom, desert element. So I don't know, it's just a little bit different. And of course there is a throne as well when you walk in the door, where your sim would just sit and be like, yes, I own this place. Absolute domination. Anyway, it'd be really hard to get your sim to sit there for a long period of time, but you get the idea. And yeah, we're going to actually get rid of that weird window wall behind the throne with the glass pebble pattern on it. It just wasn't quite right, and we end up putting big glass windows there instead, and that ties to the other big glass windows we've used on the exterior walls of the build. Of course, we need a bit of a royal, I guess, rug or walkway to the throne, where you would walk up halfway and curtsy or bow to the leader. So we're just placing that in now, making it look pretty. Of course, we're going for soft blues, mostly blues and whites actually. And we do include a very vibrant blue in a second, because we're going to change the lighting fixture to the lanterns that came with the movie stuff pack, which has quite a bohemian vibe and aesthetic to it. So we have a lot of fun with that. And the crystals I wanted to save for if I do the air or wind build. I wanted to use heaps of crystals. And of course the lions are here again, just like the desert build, but I've also put the fish there as well, so that's kind of cool. But here we are introducing those rich, vibrant blues in these lights that are hanging down. And that's now going to lead us to using some brighter blue furniture and also bright blue wallpaper, which I think in the end looks really, really nice. And I kind of wanted to use that bar because it was glowing blue, and I was like, a bar does not really fit into this build. I mean, we have a throne and all these Grecian old school sculptures, and then we have a bar that's like neon lights. I just didn't think that quite fitted. Though in saying that, we use this ultra bright, reflective, glowing wallpaper, so you could have gone there. You could have gone down that track. But now we're just really experimenting, finding really anything that could potentially work on this wall. And in the end, I just think, you know what? Let's just make this all glass, because glass is badass and glass is cool. And this is just all about being clean and clear and water-like, crystal-like. So it's kind of fun. These dolphins would have been nice too, but it really frustrated me that there were those big lines at the back of them. Obviously to connect the school of fish together in the sculpture, but it was just not working for this build, so I get rid of that. And the glass and the lighting really is enough. So that's kind of cool. And of course, behind that is the bed. We're just going to have a couple of basic stone bedside tables in a second. And we're also putting the fountain walls in here, so there's that really cool dripping down effect of all the water coming down those windows, which I think it looks pretty badass. I mean, imagine sleeping behind a wall of waterfall. So cool. So dope. I would love that. Actually, it'd be kind of freaky. I feel like whenever you hear dripping water, well, at least for me, it always makes me need to pee. So that means whenever I went to bed, I would always have to pee, and that would be really annoying. So maybe not. Maybe I won't do that. Also, again, we're using some of the more old school looking fridges and furniture in this. And I actually really like the kitchen in this build. I can't put my finger on why I love it, but in the screenshots, I was like, damn, I like this kitchen. Anyway, it's so simple. I have no idea why I like it so much, but I just do. I mean, I do like a galley kitchen, that's for sure. That's for sure. And of course, we needed a chocolate fountain, because fountains, hello, there's like 1 billion fountains outside. So I felt like that was necessary. We also have a bigger dining table here with equal amounts of chairs compared to the earthy desert kingdom, because I felt like the cave build was more isolated, whereas this is more open and inviting. So whoever lives here would probably throw more dinner parties. The curtains in that rich blue matching color was too much, so we end up just putting in white ones, which look pastel blue from the lighting, which was perfect. So we use those. And yeah, those bright blue chairs tie in really well with the rich dark blue wall, where we're going to put a couple of couches for a little bit of a chat, sit down, lounge area, and yeah, that's got some columns there as well to kind of, I guess, make a more obvious layout or separation between the rooms and layout of this place. And then also a rug helps with that as well, making that look more like its own little room despite being open plan. And over here we just have a couple of things there on the marble bench, and we're going to have a couple of seats to sit around on, followed by furnishing the bathroom. And also we're going to need a bit of creativity here as well. We needed a bit of skill building too, so we're going to put in this gorgeous pastel blue piano, which you guys will see in just a second. The ballerina was looking kind of weird, so I decided to put another naked man near the bed because, well, I will say no more. So here's a pastel blue piano looking very nice. Fits in beautifully into this environment. Lots of candles there, and we've got a nice little flower as well. And on the wall over here, I was trying to think, what should we put over here? What is the perfect painting? I thought, you know, music goes with music. We could do that. But then, I forgot we needed a door to the bathroom. So we had to get rid of that. And now we're going to have spa bath because I know that's a little bit more technologically advanced for this build. But I was like, we need a spa bath because there's tons of jets and fountains in this place. So necessary. And we're going to have a little bit of a water feature in here with one of the big fishy fountains, which looks awesome. Well, I don't know. I just am into the fish look at the moment. And then we're going to have a shower here as well. I mean, just for gameplay reasons, it's easier for your Sims to shower than actually have a big long bath. It just is a lot quicker. So I thought I may as well put that into this build as well if you just want to use it for your gameplay. And of course, we needed to put something, I thought we were going to put something on the wall in there. Maybe I missed it. Anyways, here are the finished products. This is the Desert Earth build, and this is, in contrast, the Water build. So they're very different looking, and I'll actually show them both at the end again from a more bird's eye view perspective. As a reminder, this is the desert build, so again, we're looking at really warm colors, reds. The throne is just there on the right, and we also have the rustic kitchen, but with gold accents, so then it brings in that idea of wealth. And we also have lots of floating books in the floating book library, which I just noticed there's a rock coming through the wall. Damn, that sneaky rock. I did not see that just then. And the map of the deserts, which is pretty badass. We're going to be going over in a second to the water build. And I do love that little bathtub area. A little bit of privacy there where you could draw the curtains and enjoy your bath in perfect privacy. The mirror wall as well, looking kind of cool and magical. And once again, the throne with all of those candles next to it. So that was a little bit of fun. Alrighty, moving on to the water build. Oh, we just needed another screenshot because, hey, who doesn't love screenshots? So here's the water build in contrast. Very different to the other one. And there's another angle of it. Very lush, very green, many fountains. And when you go in, it's very, very blue. Very cold looking, but we do have a few pops of color because that's just a little bit of fun. And there is the throne. So yeah, very different. Lots of Grecian pillars as well. Which one would you guys prefer to live in? Would you prefer to live in the deserty one or the water one? Because I don't know. I think I prefer the desert one, to be honest. I think I prefer those rich colors. Although I do like more light in houses. I love big windows and glass. So I don't know. I can't choose. But if I was just going to be there sometimes to sit on my throne, I think I'd go the desert one. Yeah. And there's the kitchen. I love that kitchen. I don't know. It's just, for some reason, I heart it. I heart it big time. And the blue piano. And of course, here are the two of them from a bird's eye view, so you can appreciate those views as well. But anyways, guys, let me know what you thought of this. It was a little bit different, but a little bit of fun. So let me know. Anyways, I hope you have a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. I'll speak to you soon.